Hey guys, my name is Tommy. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're going off the deep end for our episode of the Forgotten Races review, and we're talking about the Cecaelia, first imagined in Bestiary 3 and made into a player race in Blood of the Sea. The Cecaelia originate in Native American mythology, specifically amongst the Native American tribes that once lived in the American Northwest. There exists a myth amongst these tribes about a man from the Raven tribe who happened upon a girl from the Octopus tribe with 8 long braids of hair digging for clams on the beach. The man from the Raven tribe decided he would annoy the Octopus girl, so much so that those 8 strands of hair transformed into 8 octopus tentacles that grabbed the Raven man and drowned him in the rising tide. Since then, octopus people have been mentioned across pop culture. We're talking everywhere from H.P. Lovecraft all the way to Ursula in The Little Mermaid. Though these guys exist across the board in mythology and pop culture, the name Cecaelia is a term that's recently been tacked on to quantify all of them. Cecaelias in Pathfinder are a curious half-octopus race of humanoids with a lifespan of about 60 years that take pleasure in exploration, new experiences, finding random doodads from the land. They rarely form large settlements, and families with infants and young will band together for protection, remaining in one place as that child grows up. Once the child reaches about the age of 5 years old, they're considered strong enough to no longer need the protection of a large group. Thus, the family will return to its nomadic ways. Cecaelias in Pathfinder generally get along well with humanoid races. They're proud, but they don't hold themselves above anybody else. They also often decorate themselves with tattoos, and though those tattoos are not magical, the Cecaelias still believe that the power of their ancestors flows through these tattoos in such a way that a feat actually exists for Cecaelias, allowing them to take one or more of these tattoos for various effects. So let's dive right into some racial traits, shall we? First off, we should note that the Cecaelia tips the scale at 23 RP. When the Advanced Race Guide was released, it contained a section for building your own custom races. You would use a sort of point-buy system to build your race, and at certain intervals, the race would go from being what is normally considered a player race to a monster race. 20 plus is a monster race, so some GMs may see a Cecaelia as too powerful for your game. A Cecaelia gets a +2 to dexterity and wisdom, but a -2 to its intelligence. They are monstrous humanoids with the aquatic subtype at size category medium. They have dark vision out to 60 feet, but while swimming and not grabbing anything with their tentacles, a Cecaelia can spread their tentacles to form a sort of sensory net. As a swift action, they grant themselves blind sight to a range of 10 feet as long as the Cecaelia concentrates or until they attack with their tentacles or move. Speaking of tentacles, they get not 8, but 2 tentacle attacks that each deal 1d4 point of damage. These tentacle attacks, however, do have a reach of 10 feet. Cecaelia have a +2 natural armor bonus, and despite not having legs, have no trouble moving around on the land. They have a base land speed of 30 feet. Their swim speed, however, is 40 feet, but as a full round action, they can activate an ability called Jet, allowing them to swim backwards 200 feet. This movement does not provoke attacks of opportunity either. It's a great panic button, great get out of there kind of thing. Cecaelia are amphibious. They can breathe air just as easily as they can breathe water. Once per hour as a standard action, a Cecaelia can emit a 10-foot radius sphere of ink while underwater, which provides total concealment and persists for 1 minute. On land, their tentacles make them so stable that they cannot be tripped. Cecaelia begin play speaking Aquan and Common. Cecaelians with high intelligence can choose Aklos, Celestian, Draconic, Elven, Giant, Gnome, and Halfling. Gonna say it again, gonna say it every time I see this. Throw this out. There's no reason that a Cecaelian with high intelligence couldn't have opened up the book on how to read Draconic, Orcish, some regional language. There's no reason to restrict any race, let alone a Cecaelian, which is described as a nomadic culture, to a small handful of languages. Now, though this is considered a monstrous race, personally, I feel that there's no reason you should not allow your players to play a Cecaelian in a typical Pathfinder game. Yes, underwater, in early levels, a Cecaelia will have advantages over your regular humanoid adventurer, but if we pull this fish out of water, we lose Ink Cloud, Jet, and Tentacle Sense, which accounts for 5 points of our RP, meaning we go from 23 to 18. which puts us past 20, meaning without these, we are essentially not a monstrous humanoid. To put that into further perspective, that's only 1 RP more than a fetchling, only 3 RP more than an Aasimar, aka it's a lot more balanced. If you're worried about the Cecaelian being too strong for your party, being too strong for the adventure you've built, like I said, just pull the fish out of water, throw it on dry land. It can still, unlike some races like a merfolk whose land speed is severely hampered, function just as fine no matter what that character's trying to do on the land. With that said, however, if we're playing a Cecaelia, we want to be in the water as much as possible. If we are in the water, we can, as a full round action, go 200 feet backwards, meaning we have, as a full round action, the ultimate panic button right from the get-go. In addition, a 10-foot radius sphere of ink gives us concealment, and our tentacle sense makes us a humanoid minesweeper. This is not to say we want to set the mines off with the tentacles, but you get what I'm saying. Nothing is going to get within 10 feet of us as long as we're concentrating without us figuring that out. My favorite way to get something into the water is to play a spellcaster who has a lot of compulsion effects such as Charm Person, Dominate Monster. What we do is we cast these spells on the big bad, make him our friend for a little while. Once we've made the bad guy our friend, we simply teleport him to a body of water, even plane shift the dude to the plane of water if we must, putting us at an advantage and almost certainly putting that person at a grave disadvantage, even risking drowning. I once made a black dragon that would disguise himself as a humanoid, charm person, teleport him to a personal demiplane, essentially just murky swamp water as far as the eye can see, and then teleport out, leaving that person to their horrible fate. So again, if I were to play a Cecaelia, I would play them as a caster with a focus on the mind control. So have you guys ever participated in an aquatic adventure? Have you ever fought a Cecaelia? Have you ever wanted to play something like this? If so, tell me all about it in the comments. We'll keep the conversation going. Be sure to like and subscribe for more videos. The next race video drops next Monday.